When the women's 400 meters final began in Munich, the pressure on Femke Bol was enormous. The stadium expected victory. The cameras followed her every move, and a powerful field stood ready to challenge her. In this video, we take a detailed look at how Bol handled that pressure and delivered one of the most complete performances of the season. We will break down the fearless opening speed from Rhasidat Adeleke, the strength of the Polish athletes led by Natalia Kaczmarek and Kiełbasińska, and the incredible tactical discipline that allowed Bol to dominate the closing stages. Her final stretch was not built on panic or desperation. It was built on precision, timing, and complete confidence. This race showed why Bol became one of the most feared 400-meter runners in the world.
This woman, fourth on the European list for the year 2028, a former 200-meter runner. Outside of everything, in lane number 8, Lieke Klever will start. This woman, the second of the Dutch, a real kamikaze. She loves to go out and burst in the first 200. The one who looks to be closer to FEM than Bol is Natalia Kaczmarek, lane number 6 for her. Well, she did those 49.86 in Silesia just 10 days ago. So she is one of the big favorites. Yesterday, Mare ran 2/10 faster than this woman. Femke Bol with that blue background number, that certifies her as the woman who has run the fastest this year in Europe at this distance. The 400-meter Lisko in lane 5 will have the reference of Natalia Kaczmarek. Well, she ran that national record, 49.75, in the same race in Silesia, so that duel is repeated in this final. Tam is looking for her first of the 2 golds. She's been looking for here in individual events. This is perhaps the most difficult event.
Well, I was saying that Bol runs slower in the semis than Kiełbasińska, Klaver, and Kaczmarek, but how slower she ran than the others, practically jogging the last 70, 80 meters. Well, there we have all the cameras, all the spotlights on this young ballista who dares to do everything. Of course, she also dares to do the flat. 22 years old. She's looking for the triple. Well, I don't doubt it. I said the double before. Perhaps the triple? I don't doubt that she's looking for the triple here in Munich 2022.
Basinska 4, Bol 5, Kaczmarek 6, Klever 8. Valid start. In just 45 seconds, we will know the composition of the podium of the forwards in the women's category. Adeleke, the Irish woman, started very fast on lane number 1. There was balance between the favorites. There was balance until the counter straight came, and Kaczmarek was eating up the meters of compensation that Bolingo had. The Polish woman appeared as the first classified on the second curve, but Femke Bol was already reacting and was going to take the lead of the race in lane 8. Klever was very close with them. It seems that things will be between those 3 women. Watch out for Adele, the Irish woman, in lane number 1, who could end up winning the medals, or Kiełbasińska in lane number C. Femke Bol won with 494, Kaczmarek was second, Kiełbasińska third.
The women's 400 meters final at the European Championships in Munich was not simply another championship race. It became the performance that confirmed Femke Bol as the dominant force in European one-lap running. Every part of the race revealed control, intelligence, and confidence at the highest level. While many championships are remembered for chaos or unexpected drama, this final was remembered for authority. Bol entered the stadium carrying enormous expectations, yet she performed as though pressure did not exist. Before the race even started, the atmosphere inside the Olympic Stadium in Munich already felt different. The introductions made it clear that this was a loaded field. Rhasidat Adeleke represented the new generation with fearless speed and raw aggression. Natalia Kaczmarek arrived as one of the strongest finishers in Europe after an excellent season. Anna Kiełbasińska added more depth for Poland, while Victoria Ohuruogu and Cynthia Bolingo completed a final with real quality across every lane. Yet despite the strength of the field, the focus never truly moved away from Bol. The cameras constantly returned to her because the entire championship narrative revolved around what she was attempting to achieve. She was not chasing only one medal, she was chasing history. The possibility of winning across multiple events transformed her appearance in the flat 400 meters into something much bigger than a normal European final. There was pressure from the crowd, pressure from the media, and pressure created by her own extraordinary level throughout the season. What immediately stood out after the gun was the contrast in race plans. Adeleke attacked the opening phase aggressively, exploding through the first curve with almost no hesitation. Her approach was built on confidence and momentum. She wanted to establish position early and force the field to react to her pace. Kaczmarek also committed strongly through the back straight, refusing to allow the race to become controlled by Bol's rhythm. Their first 200 meters were fast, physical, and committed. Bol's opening approach looked completely different. She remained relaxed through the acceleration phase and never appeared desperate to chase the leaders immediately. This is what separates elite championship runners from athletes who rely only on speed. Bol understood the structure of the race better than everyone else on the track. Instead of reacting emotionally to the aggressive opening pace, she trusted her own distribution of energy. Her stride pattern remained smooth, entering the back straight. The shoulders stayed relaxed, the head remained stable, and most importantly, there was no visible tightening in her mechanics. In the 400 meters, efficiency is everything. Athletes often destroy themselves in the first half by trying to win the race too early. Bol refused to fall into that trap. At around 200 meters, the race looked competitive. Adeleke still carried visible momentum, while Kaczmarek positioned herself strongly entering the bend. For a brief moment, it seemed possible that Bol would need to produce something extraordinary in the closing stages. But this was exactly where her superiority became visible. The final bend changed everything. Bol's transition into the last 120 meters was technically brilliant. Instead of forcing the pace suddenly, she gradually increased pressure with perfect timing. Her stride length expanded naturally while her cadence stayed controlled. Most runners begin fighting the track in the closing stages of a 400-meter final. Bol looked like she was floating across it. Kaczmarek fought hard to maintain contact, and Adeleke tried to resist the inevitable slowdown that comes after an aggressive opening half. But Bol's efficiency became overwhelming. Her posture remained upright while others began leaning, tightening, and losing rhythm. This is one of the defining characteristics of great 400-meter runners. The ability to maintain mechanics under extreme fatigue separates champions from contenders. Over the final 100 meters, Bol completely took over the race. There was no panic in her face and no visible desperation. She simply accelerated away from elite athletes who themselves were running excellent races. Her long stride became devastating in the home straight because every step covered ground effortlessly. The others were working harder while moving slower. Bol was working smarter while still increasing speed. The Spanish commentary captured this perfectly because the tone shifted from excitement into admiration. The commentators understood they were watching an athlete operating on another level. By the final 50 meters, the result no longer felt uncertain. The only remaining question was the time. 49.44 seconds. That mark was not only enough for gold, it became the fastest European performance of the year and one of the clearest demonstrations of championship execution seen in women's sprinting that season. Kaczmarek secured silver after a courageous and disciplined run. Kiełbasińska earned bronze through consistency and toughness late in the race, but neither athlete truly threatened Bol once the decisive phase arrived. What made this performance special was not only the margin of victory. It was the way Bol controlled every emotional and tactical aspect of the final. Championship races are rarely about pure speed alone. They are about positioning, rhythm, patience, emotional discipline, and decision-making under pressure. Bol mastered every category. Her intelligence during the race deserves special attention. Many elite runners panic when opponents attack early. They waste energy responding immediately because they fear losing contact. Bol never showed that insecurity. She understood that the 400 meters punishes impatience. By staying composed early, she preserved the exact energy needed to dominate late. Another key factor was her technical stability. Fatigue destroys mechanics in the 400 meters faster than almost any other event. Arms begin crossing the body, knees stop driving efficiently, and posture collapses. Bol resisted all of it. Even during the final meters, her running form remained remarkably clean. That technical discipline allowed her to maintain speed while others slowed dramatically. The Munich final also represented an important psychological turning point. Before this race, Bol was already respected as one of Europe's elite athletes. After Munich, she became something more intimidating. Rivals no longer viewed her simply as a competitor. She became the standard everyone else had to chase. That distinction matters. Great athletes eventually change the psychology of their events. Opponents begin racing for silver because the favorite appears untouchable. Munich was one of the first moments where Bol projected that kind of inevitability in the flat 400 meters. The race also highlighted her versatility. Most athletes specialize narrowly to maximize performance. Bol was competing across multiple disciplines while still delivering world-class execution under enormous physical demands. That ability elevated the significance of the victory. She was not surviving the schedule. She was dominating it. Looking back, the 2022 European Championships final now feels like a defining chapter in Bol's evolution. It showcased the complete package: elite endurance, tactical maturity, technical precision, emotional calm, and devastating finishing strength. Every section of the race reinforced the idea that she understood exactly when to apply pressure and exactly how to break her rivals mentally before the finish line even arrived. The Munich performance was not chaotic brilliance. It was calculated domination. That is what made it unforgettable.